Hi everyone, my name is Heather and I'm the person behind Happy Puppy Truffles. Today I wanted to share with you guys an origami arrangement that is maybe not often thought of as origami, but when you think about it, kind of is. It's a how to make a gift bag. And I know as we get close to the holiday season, wanting to know how to do this can be really helpful. You can use scraps of wrapping paper you have lying around that you can never seem to use for anything else because they're never quite big enough. You can make little bags to put little candies in and stuff. It could be kind of a fun way to give out treats at the office and things like that. But yeah, lots of different ways that you can use this for sure. There's a couple of steps, and first of all, I'm going to show you guys today how to make an origami gift bag that has no gusset. So that means there's no bottom to it. It doesn't stand up. It's just flat. Next week, I'll show you guys how to make one with the gusset, and that's the one that stands up like a little brown paper bag. When you do this, there's a couple ways you can approach it. You can just start off with a piece of paper and make it and then say, hey, look, this is the size it is. Let's see what can fit in the bag. Or you can try from the beginning to think and try to make a bag that fits perfectly or close to the size of what you're going to put inside of it. That's just kind of up to you guys of what you want to do. Now, if you are going to try to shoot for the goal of making a bag that's the size of what you're putting in it, a couple things you want to keep in mind. You've got your object, and we want to first focus on the length of the paper we need to start off with. I have my object length, and then I want to go ahead and add another 15 centimeters to that if I can. That should usually give you enough to be able to fold up the tiny bit to secure the bottom and give you a little bit at the top so that you can deal with how you want to fold that over. So at least shoot for having this much. You can go more. That's no problem. You can always do that. But it's sort of up to you guys of how much you want to have with that. And then for the width, you want to consider that you're basically wrapping this up. So you've got your object, and then you need that whole width for it to fit in the bag, plus a little so that it slides over. And you don't want things to be too tight, so be a little generous with how wide your object is. Add a little extra to the sides. And then consider that you need it to fold over, and you need there to be a little crossover too at the top. So width times 2 plus an extra little bit so that things can fold over. You can shoot for 5 or 10 centimeters even here so that you can have a little extra space. Always better to go a little bigger than a little small and have it not work out. And you can always cut down, especially the length later when you're done. So that's just kind of something to think of if you're shooting to make it exact. Now, I'm just going to show you guys today with a regular piece of origami paper. My origami paper is 25 by 25 centimeters, and I'll give you an idea of the kind of size of bag I can get with this. And what you want to start off with here is with the color side facing down. I want to just mark where my center is without putting a giant crease that goes right through the middle of my bag. You could do that, but I don't want to, so I'm just going to pinch at the top and bottom. That gives me this little marker so I know where everything is here for what I'm working with. Then I'm just going to fold this part over, and you can kind of give yourself, spot it from where you're looking at with folding. Try to go beyond the center that we just marked off by a little bit. I've just gone beyond by about a centimeter or so there. And then I could do the same thing on this side too, a centimeter the other way too. It doesn't really matter if this seam is dead on in the center. If you're a big stickler for those kinds of things, you can try. And, if you're dealing with a paper that has a pattern and it's obvious that it's off, then you can shoot for that too. But you don't really have to worry about it too much. So I've got everything overlapped. And then I'm going to just use an extra piece of paper here to help me when I glue. Now, one of the surefire ways to avoid the problem of having something stick to itself and not be able to open again later is to use double-sided tape. If you put that down here, you know exactly how wide it is. You can make sure when you close off that everything covers itself. You probably want to put the tape over here, but then you want to make sure, of course, that the tape you're using isn't any wider than this little bit that you have overlapping here. But you can kind of plan all that ahead of time. The worst thing is to do this, glue it, close it off, and then try to open it up to put something inside and the bag doesn't open. So kind of keep that in mind when you do things, to be careful. Kind of visualize this strip of how wide it is. And I'm going to put some glue on it. I'm going to glue the left side, the side that's on top. That will give you the best chance to have a nice, secure, smooth edge here. So if I just kind of open my bag up here on some paper you don't care about, and that way I can go ahead and just get this right over the edge so that I get a really nice smooth crease. And don't worry about it going too far in. I don't need a whole big 2-3 centimeters worth of glue because that's too far. Just a tiny little bit, and then I can close this off and it'll secure it good for me. Get my paper out of the way for a second. And that should give you a really nice, close, secure edge on the outside, which is the part that matters the most because everybody's going to see that. So I've got that part secured for my bag. And then I just need to go ahead and close off the bottom down here by taking a little bit of what you see down here and just folding it up. And this is certainly just your call of how much you fold up. I'm just going to fold up a little over 1 centimeter down here at the bottom. Go ahead and fold out a little of this edge to make a little triangle on both sides. And you don't necessarily have to do that step. If you can eyeball this next part, you don't need to do that. But what I want to do is trim off those little triangles that I just made. Get my scissors here. So I get those two trimmed off. And then I'm going to trim off this part that has that overlapping layer to it too, right here. So I can go ahead and just kind of pop this open for a second and just trim off that layer. And then I'm going to go ahead and use glue again to secure this part off. And so you can, again, just take a piece of paper you don't care about and make sure there's no glue facing up anywhere. And then just take and open this part up and put glue all the way on this whole tab to create a really nice secure edge to your bag. And that should give you a really nice finish to the bottom of your bag. And then at the top you can just choose whatever you want to do with whatever you have left up here at the top. Depending on what you're putting inside, you know, you can just fold it over a little bit like a bag, and if you happen to have like some serrated scissors from scrapbooking and stuff, you can create a nice little scalloped or serrated edge there, sort of for that normal kind of processed paper kind of finish. And then stick a little cute little sticker or something there to close it off. Or if you want, you can put some strip of ribbon right here, fold down again, turn it over, and you'll have a little ribbon sticking on the outside. And if you tie it in the front, you've got a nice secure little bag too. That's another fun little way to close things off. But that just kind of gives you a basic gift bag with no gusset, and kind of just gives you an idea of the dimensions of how things turn out when you're finished. But have fun with this, and I hope it can be a useful thing for you guys this holiday season. Again, I'll have the tutorial of how to make a gift bag with a gusset next week. Thank you again always so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.